called to order at 7:04. Could you please read the roll? Crystal?
Councilman Gouldy?
Here.
Councilman Gray?
Here.
Councilman Mora?
Here.
Supervisor Esposito?
Present, also present is our town attorney Gerard Parisi. Invocation,
We're missing Councilmember Jack Russo tonight.
pardon?
I didn't read Ben's name, but he's missing
Yeah, I
tonight.
know.
For the record.
He's away.
He's away.
Go ahead, Nancy.
Father God, we come before you tonight asking for your wisdom, knowledge, and discernment for those representing us to know your will for Princetown. We ask your peace and unity that only you can give. Thank you for working your will in our town. Bless those who represent us and their families. We pray, as your word says, blessed is the nation whose God is the Lord. We declare this for our town. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
Please remain standing for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. Department committee reports. Do you have anything from them, Crystal?
I don't have anything from Ralph, but I got an email this morning from County Highway. I gave you guys a copy, but they said that the county will be paving the following 2 roads in Princetown with a 2-inch top. They're gonna do Settles Hill and Birchwood Drive. Mooselbeck Road will be done by Gorman Brothers Fiber Mat and Micropave. They didn't say when, that was the extent of the email, but I just got it this morning, so just so you guys know.
Mooselbeck was done today.
It was done today? Okay.
Okay. Let's see, this is from the water commissioner. June 2024, gallons pumped 2,544,100. Maximum daily usage 166,800. Minimum daily usage 40,300. Daily average 84,800. We had the following water main break leaks. June 15th had a 2-inch water service leaking at the main. Runner came and repaired the service that day. Issues worked on June 10th had a booster pump failure at Rooter Drive booster station. Had Stewart, come out to do the repair and yearly maintenance to all booster stations. Stewart found a melted wire nut that was shorting out at the motor. Repairs were made and put back into service. All booster pumps got their yearly maintenance and checkup. Had a problem with locks at the well house. Both came out to repair the locks, doing inspections at Crossroads. 90% of the water meters have been read and recorded for billing. General maintenance performed. Respectfully submitted, Rick Rourke, Water Commissioner. Any questions? Doug?
No.
No.
Rick also requested that we read the outdoor sprinkling rules in there. Do you want me to read that? It's the
Yeah, go
second
ahead.
page. The notice of outdoor sprinkling rules, odd and even rule. If your house number is an even number, then you're allowed to water on even days of the month. If your house number is an odd number, then you're allowed to water on odd days of the month. There's a time rule. Watering will be allowed between the hours of 5 a.m. and 9 a.m. And there's a contact rule. If your sprinklers are watering the road or a solid driving surface, you may be asked to redirect your sprinklers. Thank you for your cooperation. Any water questions or concerns should be forwarded to the Princetown Water Department at 518-357-4045, extension 7. Rick said that the usage has been astronomically high, so if the watering rule or the sprinkling rule is not followed, he's going to have to put restrictions in place.
Any
Like
questions?
triple the usage in the past couple days, he said.
Any questions, Jim?
No.
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 I do have one thing, that you don't think that could possibly be a leak somewhere that we don't know about, right?
He
Water,
said he was checking.
with that kind of usage. I mean, you're talking 300% increase? Is that what
3
you're saying?
times, he
That's-
said, yeah.
Wow.
You know, statistically, that's pretty high even for summertime. I'm just wondering.
Said there's no leaks in the bottom.
All right, okay. It's just a high number, that's.
I see we have a report too from Jay's Consulting Group, if anybody wants to look at it.
No. Who?
It's for the water consultant. I guess everything came back. Sample is negative, total color form. And everything is good, so.
If you're using that much water, it's gonna be good. It's not stagnant, it's running. Okay.
Okay. Code enforcement, we have anything from Tom?
We do, yep, he gave it separate. There we go.
Building inspector's report, total permits 3, permits issued 3, permit inspection fees collected $366, building inspection 6, zoning review 1, fire inspection 0, final building inspection 0, certificate of occupancy compliance 0, bank deposit $366. Check to supervisor, 00, checkbook balance as of July 9, 2024, $4,530.99, working on planning zones as needed, working on permit final inspections as needed, reviewing plans as needed, Thomas Verini, building inspector. Got anything, Doug?
No.
Jim?
No.
Okay. Highway, do we have anything from the highway?
Court, you mean?
Oh, yeah, you just wrote that, that's right.
I don't know, when we clean the deer up. I didn't mention that last month, did I?
No.
Ralph was here last month, wasn't he? Yeah.
Where was that?
Where you by Lappy's up there, next door neighbor. The state came, they said it wasn't in a right of way, which it was, but they didn't want to deal with it. So Joe Lappy called me up, told me to go get his loader. Ralphie called me, Ralph goes, we gotta go pick a deer up. I says, okay. And when Lappy called me, and he goes, take my loader, it's right there, blah, blah, blah. So me and Ralph went and threw the deer in the loader, and we disposed of it properly. And if you ask any more questions than that, I have to tell you.
It's all cleaned up. That's
Yeah,
right.
it's cleaned up. The lady called Ralph and he was happy to go, thank you for doing it. Somebody hit the deer and it died off the road. So,
There's one thing on this, on the highway. I know we're not putting any money into roads, but there is such a thing as preventative maintenance, and we should be doing something
Where?
every year. I don't know, Vernon Drive? Jim, is there?
And it's pretty chipped up.
oh yeah, you said that, cracked up pretty good.
Yeah.
I don't know if it should be sealed, or, we can put a sealer on it, or.
I'll look at it. Maybe we can get a hold of, I don't know how much money's in the budget, we got money in the
I
budget.
don't know, I don't need a budget for that, but we can't, you know.
Get Katie to run the truck up there with the tar. Seal it.
Can you get a price on it?
Yeah.
We gotta do something over here, we gotta have something, we can't let them all go, you know, where we have to repair them all at once.
No, I know.
Never have the money to do it.
I'll get Ralph on it. I'll call Katie.
Okay. You have anything from the judge?
We do. She sent an email. It said that the monthly report is approximately $12,967 for the month of June. Also, I wanted the town board to be aware that the 2024-2025 JCAP applications are being considered for this upcoming year. Here is an excerpt of the email I received today. Please discuss if there's anything necessary for town hall or upgrades in security, and let me know if you have any questions. It says, we are pleased to invite you to apply for a 2024-25 Justice Court Assistance Program grant. The maximum award is $30,000 per court, $60,000 jointly. Each year, all towns and village courts may apply for a JCAP grant for a variety of purposes, including security equipment items, furniture, office equipment, courtroom, and court facility improvements and renovations. Courts that owe a JCAP reconciliation report from a prior grant cycle will not be considered. Applications for JCAP grants are required to be submitted by Justice Court personnel only. Each court should designate one individual from within the court to submit the application. All accompanying paperwork and applications are due by Friday, October 11th, 2024. And she left you all the paperwork that goes with that.
She usually applies for something, right, every year?
I think she's kind of trying to see what you guys think, if there's anything that we need.
That's how we got the security system over here for
The
the court,
lights, right?
where they come in and check for guns, and they gotta go through that.
And I think they did the parking lot lights through that too. didn't
Yeah, we
they?
got a few things from
Yeah.
that, grant.
I think they did the parking lot lights, we did that on our own, the original ones.
I think they did something with the storage room too, didn't they? Didn't they give us some money toward that?
Yeah, to put shelves in.
Yeah.
Yes, yes. Well, we'll have to look and see if we can apply for some grant for it. I don't know what we need as far as security. We got the cameras in now. We
It's
got
even
cameras
built
in all
like
of the
this
rooms.
room would qualify because it's used as a court, so any. I was thinking maybe a better microphone or sound system. I know you're always saying it'd be nice if you could hear people talking.
We'll have to think about it, I guess. Come up with something. When does the applications have to be in? done?
October, yeah, October 14th.
Oh, okay.
We got time.
Michelle, see what she wants.
Okay, any questions? All right. We have anything from the assessor?
We do, it's long.
You can read it, then.
To the Princetown Town Board from John Bonanno. Subject Assessor's Office update. The assessment cycle. The final assessment roll for the 2024 tax cycle has been completed and is now available for public review on the town's website and a hard copy at the assessor's office. The first time the new assessments will be used is for the September 2024 school tax bills. These values will be next used to produce the January 2025 property tax bills. The tentative assessment roll was produced and published on May 1st. The state's real property tax law provides a 3-tier process for homeowners to question their assessments. There's an informal meeting with the assessor by appointment. There's a meeting with the town's Board of Assessment Review, the BAR. There's a filing of a petition with the county clerk's office for a small claim assessment review. Once the final assessment roll for 2024 has been finalized, the assessor starts to work on the 2025 roll. The assessor's office spends the next few months updating sales, transfers, and new construction, monitoring the town's real property tax files, and answering questions and working with taxpayers. He wanted to give some shout outs. Getting all the data and information together to meet the requirements of the New York real property tax laws requires participation from numerous sources, and I wanted to take a minute to thank the building department for supplying building permits to the assessor's office, the members of the BAR for their public service and listening to taxpayers' complaints on grievance day, the town's web administrator for getting the tentative and final assessment rolls on the town's website in a timely manner, and the town clerk for her help with various computer issues. Office hours, there's office staffing Monday through Wednesday during normal business hours, and the assessor's in the office on Monday mornings or by appointment. The assessor can also be reached anytime at 518-852-8513 or by email at masllc05@gmail.com. I may not answer a call immediately, but my practice is to get back to the caller within 24 hours. If the town board needs any information or has any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to me.
I spoke with the assessor, and he said we're not in any danger at this point yet for a reval in the town, even though we're the lowest now at 19%, Crystal?
Oh, I'm not sure.
Pardon?
I'm not sure if the.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, it's pretty low.
Yeah. No, we haven't done it in, what, 40 years? 30?
No, they did it not that long ago with you.
It was long ago.
84 maybe?
Yeah.
83? I think it was done. Okay, any other questions, assessor? All right, Doug, you're up.
It's been slow compared to what we've had with all these dogs getting picked up and sent to the shelter. We haven't had that. Just had a complaint about barking dogs. I spoke to the guy who owned the dogs, and we haven't really had any issues since. And the other was a guy who's been kind of a trouble back and forth between him and his neighbor, He calls me up and says that his girlfriend left him and left the dogs and the cats and a bird behind and wanted me to relocate them. So I told him we're not doing that. So hopefully I won't hear from that guy again. So otherwise, it's been good. Hasn't been any big deal. All the problems are always on the north side of town. There's not much going on down here. Always up in the hills. That's it.
Okay.
Hey, I do have one question. This dog, this noise ordinance, we don't have a noise ordinance, but we have for the dogs barking. And there's really, I talked to the judge, there's not a lot I can do about that. They would have to file like basically like a deposition or something, is that right? I'm not sure, but legal documents trying to say that, you know, I'm accusing so-and-so of their dog barking. It just seems kind of silly. It doesn't happen that often, but we don't have a noise ordinance yet. There's a thing on the local law under dog control that says that dogs can't bark more than 30 minutes. That was written probably by Darla. That was a law that it was passed, I think, under Mike Joyce during that time. But it's on the dog control officers, which everything that she had posted written down. This was when she was dog warden. She put all that down. So there's no law in Ag and Markets law for noise.
We don't have a local law on dog barking.
Well, then we need to take that off of the website because it's under the dog control officer. There's a section in there saying that there's a law that was passed and it's got this subsection and everything in there.
No, not to my knowledge.
Well, it is there.
Probably was, you gotta check it.
It is there. So if we're gonna, you know, I don't know what you want to do, if you want to keep that or squash it.
No, it was a dog thing.
People
Noise
complain.
ordinance.
The last one to complain had a legitimate, they had dogs that were trained to bark.
Yeah,
And there was nothing we
North
could,
End.
yeah, and they were mad about that, but there was nothing they could do. But otherwise, it's usually neighbors that don't like one another. And then they try to get you in the middle of it, and the dog's barking, and there's no way of knowing, unless they record it for a half hour. So I don't know what you guys want to do about that, but I just thought I'd bring it up. It is on there. It's got to be on a law someplace.
Crystal.
I can look it up, I'm not aware.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you look on the town website under dog warden, it's got right in there. It says Princetown local law, not ag and markets.
Dog law, because we have a Princetown dog law,
There's-
it is a local law.
Yeah, it's a local law. Local law saying that you
But you're
can't
saying
bark.
it's separate from our dog law. As
Yeah,
far
the
as-
ag and markets law is why they have to have a dog warden. So the other stuff is just a local law that was set up.
Do some digging, see if I what I can find.
Okay. Any other questions? Okay, thank you, Ben.
Okay.
On buildings and grounds, there's really nothing going on right now. The state police called me, their soffit is falling or something over there. It's been like that for a year and a half, but I guess they changed people around in there again, so they called and I don't know what they were supposed to do with it. It's been like that for a year and a half, and if we have to do anything with it, we got a procurement policy that says we have to go out and get 3 estimates unless it's an emergency, so I don't think we're gonna be doing much with that. Other than that, nothing else has been going on. Anything, do we have that in there about the, for that, thing that they wanna do for
The
police?
rental, I thought you wanted to talk about it in executive session.
Well, we can discuss it now, I think.
Sure.
Somebody wants to have a get-together for the state police and the sheriff's department. They want to put up a tent and have coffee and donuts or whatever coming in off their their shifts. I don't know where they think there's so many people that are working in these shifts. I think there's only about 2 cars on it at night in each department, the sheriffs or the state police, and they don't want to set up a tent. We don't have anything in our insurance now. The insurance underwriter was just here again this past week to accommodate those kind of things, putting up tents and what have you, because we don't have any parks. And they specifically asked me that question. We did have somebody who wanted to put up a tent over here and have bouncy bounce come in or something for a kid's party, and we told them no. I don't think this is a good idea, personally.
Where did they want to do it?
Pardon?
Where did they want to set this
They
tent?
haven't said anything, and I don't know who they thought was gonna pay for the tent. But obviously, the town is not in that position to do that. So I'm not in favor of doing that at all. I don't think it's the right thing to do.
And we can't do it without a rider and our insurance either. We'd have to have
Exactly.
either a rider or a bond or both.
Yeah.
You know, we've gotten away with a lot of things over here. When we brought the Vietnam Wall in, we did have to get extra insurance for it.
Yeah.
So,
I remember that, yeah.
what do you wanna tell them? I'm personally opposed to it.
Oh, no.
Doug? Jim?
I would say, you know, that our insurance, we can't do it unless we have a rider on the insurance, and it's gonna be an expense item.
They want to pay for it, because they probably don't.
No, I'm sure they don't.
But the insurance company is not gonna allow that without some kind of provision.
No,
It's like
exactly.
with the Vietnam Wall. We got-
Well, no, we can do it, but we're not covered. if Something happens.
All right, so that's it. Oh, by the way, thank you for fixing that, step out there. That was
Still
a great
good?
step. Yeah, he didn't complain about it this time.
Okay.
So he went out that door too.
Okay.
When he went to look at the well houses, and
Okay.
he had Crystal going with his stories. Okay, public hearings, we have none.
The town clerk.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry.
That's
Crystal.
okay, I have nothing to report. It's very slow in the summertime, so
Okay.
nothing.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Public hearings, we have none. Resolutions, meeting minutes. Is hereby resolved that the meeting minutes of June 11, 2024, regular town board meeting are approved or as amended. Discussion,
I'll make the motion.
is there a second?
Second.
Crystal?
Councilman Pavolli?
Yes.
Councilman Gray?
Yes.
Councilman Mora?
Yes.
Supervisor Esposito?
Yes, resolution passes. I think we'll skip over this one for the time being. We'll discuss that at council members' comments.
You want to table it, or you're just going to come back to it?
We're gonna come back to it.
Yeah.
All right.
General fund claims?
Pay the bills.
There's two, so you can skip to general fund claims.
Yeah. General funds claim. Is hereby resolved that the town board approves claim number 120 through 140 in the amount of $19,821.17. Discussion? Is there a motion?
I'll make it.
Is there a second? I'll second it. Griswold?
Councilman Pavolli?
Yes.
Councilman Gray?
Yes.
Councilman Mora?
Yes.
Supervisor Esposito?
Yes, resolution passes. Let's see. It is hereby resolved that the town board approves claim number 50 through 59 in the amount of $5,102.06. Discussion?
I'll make the motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Crystal?
Councilman Pavolli?
Yes.
Councilman Gray?
Yes.
Councilman Mora?
Yes.
Supervisor Esposito?
Yes, resolution passes. It is hereby resolved the town board approves claim number 6 through 70 in the amount of $6,618.50. Discussion?
I'll make it.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Crystal?
Councilman Pavolli?
Yes.
Councilman Gray?
Yes.
Councilman Mora?
Yes.
Supervisor Esposito?
Yes, resolution passes. Okay. Privilege of the floor. At every scheduled town board meeting, the public shall have the right to address the town board during the, staple that, I can't even read, Kristen.
I'm sorry.
It's all right. During the meeting referred to as privilege of the floor, a member of the public shall restrict their comments to items of town business. Although there is no official time constraint, speakers should be considerate of others so that all interested members of the public have an opportunity to be heard. There shall be one portion of the meeting dedicated to privilege of the floor. At each meeting, all remarks and questions shall be addressed to the board. No person shall enter into discussion with the person having the floor. Council members may address any comments during a portion of the meeting referred to as council members' comments. Privilege of the floor is opened up at, what is it, 7:29?
Wes Blessing from Gifford Church Road, former employee of the town. I just want the town board to be aware, I received 3 or 4 phone calls from residents on North Kelly Road concerning a person illegally burning construction debris and everything else up there on North Kelly. I don't know what your current fire warden is doing. They said they contacted him. I don't know exactly what he's doing, but you guys need to be aware that there's illegal burning going on North Kelly. Did anybody know about that?
Where is it on North Trail?
The Springer residence.
Whose residence?
Springer, it's right next door to Quicks.
Oh,
Quicks, you know where Myron Quick used to live? When he was, you know where I'm talking about, Doug? Right next door, he runs a landscape construction business. And he's hauling in, I was up there numerous times when I was fire warden and squashed it, and I don't know what's going on now, if your current fire warden's been up there or not. But I've got like 3 phone calls in the past 2 weeks over it.
He's still burning?
Water
It's still burning, that's Potter Kills Fire District.
Well, isn't that,
Who's burning up there?
Well, it's the fire, your fire warden, whoever your fire warden.
Princetown's fire
Your
warden.
Princetown fire warden.
All fruits down.
What's that, Lou?
oh, that's,
Who's fire warden?
Mike Campione,
Yeah.
who is it?
Mike Campione.
Okay, well, you need to go up there and stop it.
I gave him the town hall's phone number, I don't know if they've called you,
Please
Crystal.
call
or
me,
not.
no.
I don't want to repeat what they told me about calling town hall, so.
All right.
Next thing, as a former employee of the water department, question for the board, are you going to prorate the water bills? You're up to 2 months late reading the water meters. That's 18 to 20%.
He's 2 months late reading the water meters.
Oh,
What do you
I
think?
don't know. You just sent the
The
bills out.
bills went out.
Yeah, well,
Went out Monday, yeah.
Yeah, well, he was up to 6 to 8 weeks late reading water meters, so you're gonna have a lot of upset people. I mean, because before they were always concluded prior to June 1st, and we read them in 2 weeks. So now
It's gonna be up.
your usage is gonna be up, so they should have been prorated prior to going out, being you read them late.
I didn't know. Well, it's
Those,
kind of late now to do anything about it, since you already read them, the bills went out, they went out.
Now
now.
They went out Monday.
so you're gonna have lots of complaints. It's unfair to the people.
Well, their bill will be less next year.
How do you know? That's why we always did it in a 2-week period. That's why George did it in a 2-week period. That's why we did it in a 2-week period when I was there. So now you're 6 weeks late.
Yes.
It's not a good situation.
Everybody's
Thank you.
watering their lawn. All right,
Remind me of that tomorrow. Thank you.
thank you.
Any others?
I'll let you know that, you may know this, tomorrow, the town of Rotterdam is going to be voting on their new solar law. Whether it passes or not, we'll find out. there's a lot still going on, even though there hasn't been anybody here. And I would like to encourage the board members to review that law. If you compare that to what the building codes are for buildings, commercial properties and things, that law is very minute. You know, you're talking about, you'd say 40 pages, but no, that thing, 6 or 8 pages of its definitions, and the last 3 or 4 pages is a form, so it's really not that long. You've heard the arguments, some too restrictive, not restrictive enough, and all this. It would be nice if it was the same law in Princetown as in Rotterdam, so everything was consistent. You may also know that with the last state budget, the state moved the siting from Office of Renewable Energy and moved it into the Public Service Commission. Now, when they did that, they increased the minimum for the kilowatts for an application from 19.9 to 23 or 25. So anything less than that is going to go through towns and not the state. I don't know if the one on Sanborn Road, if they raised, I don't know what their kilowatt application was for, if they raised it when they added on that extra property, or I don't know. But just keep that in mind, that that's important, because if we don't have a solid law, and they put their application, and they're gonna be going on what was. So, it's just something to consider.
Thank you.
Jamie.
Any comments on that?
About the class.
Public Service Commission, you wanna make it a public utility.
Yeah.
Which means we have no
Oh, yeah,
jurisdiction
no, I
at all.
think we've discussed that.
That was the whole objective. I read that law from cover to cover, and that was the whole objective. They wanna put it in the realm of Public Service Commission so that they have more ability to just say, that's the way it's gonna be. And if it's over at certain kilowatts, they're just gonna railroad us, they're bulldozers, that's what they want. Gotta remember, New York State has an objective, and they're, started with Andy Como. He wanted this to be the solar state of the union, and nothing's changed. And that law is just one more step in that direction.
There is a very large counter culture growing with this. The Stop Energy Sprawl in New York, they have attorneys now. The more that these things show up, the more people that are coming out against them. So there is a change, and there's some people that are starting to take notice in government. We got to sit down with, we didn't get Angelo Santa Barbara, but we got his representative, and we're explaining some of the stuff to him. And so there's more and more interest starting to show up, because it is so, I'm looking for some good words and I can't come up with them, but it's
Ridiculous is the word.
well, yeah, but it's offensive. They're very offensive. The 160 project, once they got their approvals, the town had no really any control over what went on there. The state kind of turned their back on a lot of the stuff, and they're finding that throughout the area, Canajoharie, Fort Plain, other places where they're going in, they're running into the same problems. Excessive runoff, damaging to things, wells going dry. And as these things are happening, more and more people are complaining. The 160 project, you go talk to the neighbors around there now, and they're all, I would say 99%, and that might sound extreme, but if you go there and talk to them, they are disgusted with the whole thing.
The state would like to actually circumvent local governments.
Yeah.
They really do. I mean, that last move that they made, that was a step in that direction. I mean, this is one of the reasons why we enacted a 100-acre minimum. We don't want to turn the town into a carnival,
Right.
which is what it would have been if you could have solar on 15 acres, you'd have, the whole town would be a carnival with these things. But it's very, very difficult to fight the state as they're moving in that direction. It's like stopping the waves coming in the ocean. It's very, very difficult.
Now, there's a pretty big movement afoot that's starting to take hold. The 100-acre minimum thing, that's another thing. You were doing groundbreaking stuff with that. Nobody else had that, and you guys enacted that. And now it seems like the board's afraid to go with the town law because it's gonna be too restrictive. Well, you already did that with the 100-acre thing. So this really isn't that much more different. Town of Florida's had 500-foot setbacks for 6 years now. You know, and I've heard that sounds excessive, but it's not, because they're following those, the companies are following that. You know, town, I think it was Broad Almond, just outright banned them in the past month.
The problem is, once litigation begins, and a large company decides to sue a town, you gotta understand, our entire budget isn't enough to fight it. And I personally, I would not vote for 1 penny to fight it from a legal perspective, because we'll make the town broke. We have a fiduciary responsibility to the taxpayer not to break the town, and that would do it. If you start fighting these big companies, well, fortunately, a lot of them they're not litigating against the towns, and that's good. So far, we haven't been litigated against with our 100-acre, but they could. They could say, look, I got 50 acres, I want to do it.
You're the attorney that the town was using to,
She was advising the solar committee.
Right,
She said that
right.
we passed the statute of limitations on our
Right,
current
yes.
solar law.
and then she also said that the companies are not suing towns. It's the private individuals that are suing the towns.
It's still the same difference.
Right, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, but you have a better chance of having a private individual suing your town than.
But it still represents a liability risk to the town, a financial liability risk to the town, which, you know,
Either way,
I'm not gonna
bigger
start
than that.
fighting legally with all these things. I just can't, I couldn't go on with that. You know, because we could go through the whole town budget, quite frankly. We start talking about lawyers. I know they work very inexpensively, but, you know.
500 an hour.
Well, he's worth it, but I'm just saying, I don't want to break the town through litigation, and that, there's gonna be some towns that are gonna find out that this is gonna be a big problem.
There already has. There was, I've got a lot of case laws on that. Towns that have banded together to try to fight it and they lost. I've
In
got
what way?
litigation on it.
In what way?
I thought they just lost. They
Lost on what?
tried to
What
fight
was
it.
the loss?
They didn't want to have solar
Yeah.
or wind, and they pooled their monies together, and this came from the associations of towns. They sent me all of the rulings on it. Everyone has lost that they tried to take this on. The only thing is that people in the state are pushing this.
They want this.
They want it, they're making a utilities use variance, that's what they're calling it now. And you can't say anything about it, that's why they're doing this over here, it's a utility now. That's what they're saying. I don't like solar, I'm never gonna have solar on my property, I don't want it. I don't care what my neighbor does, but I don't want it. I don't want it on my roof, I don't wanna have anything to do with it, I don't wanna have anything to do with windmills. I think it's the biggest sham ever placed on the American people in this country right now.
Are you willing to go down to the county legislature and tell them that?
I've told them that.
Yeah.
I've said it. I'm opposed to it. I've said it. I'm opposed to solar. I don't want to have anything to do with it. That's why we put 100 acres in there. We thought we were going to be able to restrict it. And there's only certain places you can put this up. You got to have 3-phase. We all know that. I had Doug Cole do his research on this. How many properties in the town and where you could hook it up. There's only a small section down in this end that it could be hooked up. One of it is part of Pangburn Road, that's it, and the other part is Gifford Church Road, a small section on Gifford Church Road. That's the only places down here, and Route 20.
Did you get the article that I sent, Crystal, about how you tell where a 3-phase is?
I know the 3 wires, I know all about that.
Goes right
I
up
know
Route
about
160,
There's
goes
not 3
Weaselbeck Road.
wires. If you go look up north, there's hardly any properties up there that have 3-phase. I had Doug Cole do his research on this.
I was on a fire call this weekend on Route 160 by the corner of Weaselbeck. 3-phase primary lines.
Well, I just had him do this over here,
Yeah.
and there's not that many properties. There's not many properties down here. Route 7 has 3 phase, obviously. And
Crawford Road has
part of-
3 phase on it.
And part of Pangburn Road has it because of the golf course. They had their wells drilled down along the creek. And that's where the 3 phase ran up through to the golf course. There isn't any more after that. Part of Gifford Church Road doesn't have it.
Darrell Road.
Pardon?
It goes as far as
Darrell
Darrell
Road, that's right.
Well, out by us, it comes up 160, it comes up 5, or
It
right
doesn't
next
go all the
to
way up
Weaselbeck.
through the North Country. You know that just as well as I do. You know that there's not that many properties up there that have this, that can do this. That's why we put 100 acres in there. I'm not in favor of changing that 100 acres at all. I don't know how the rest of the board feels. That's why we put that 100 acres in there. There's not that many, there's more properties down here that have 100 acres where it could be hooked up to than there is up north. Believe it or not, there is. So, I don't know what to tell you over there. I'm not in favor of changing the law. The only thing I would want to take out of there is battery storage.
Yeah, the batteries, I would go along with that. I don't like the
I
idea of
don't like
batteries.
the idea of that.
I
We don't have
think-
any other applications coming in,
I get
Uh,
calls.
pardon?
I get calls every week. They want to know when our moratorium expires. And just so
Well,
you're aware, our
maybe never.
moratorium expires the day
Well, we
before
can't.
next month's meeting. So
Hmm.
we
We
haven't
can
made
do it
any moves.
forever until they balk at us.
They already did.
Oh.
That was brought up with towns trying to do that. That's another case that they lost.
I
And
had,
that law that you got from Rotterdam, I already read that whole thing. I've read that entire law. That's, to me, they can, 30%, they can do it on it and whatever. They got more solar in Rotterdam, all down 5S, all over Burdick Street. It's ridiculous the way they do it. Now they're trying to stop it. 5S, they got it on the other end by the old dump, down by your place over there, the Rotterdam dump, they got it there. They got it on 5.
That's the county,
5S.
that's the county,
Pardon?
that's the county.
Well, it's there. I mean, Rotterdam has got it, you can see it on the thruway when you go over, you can look over and see it, what they have there. I don't know what their
You can
big
see
thing was
160
over
from
there.
Route 5.
too. They got more,
Across the
we
river.
got 2 projects, one of them over there on Kelly Station Road that I don't hear anything about, and the other one is on 160. Now Sanborn Road, because of Rotterdam stalling this, we got involved in it. That's all, and I told them that too. I had a meeting with them over here, because they put this moratorium on, and they're the ones who did it. There was never gonna be solar on Rennox Corners Road. There wasn't gonna be there, because they didn't have the power. They brought the power in from the other side, as you know. That's what they did when they purchased that property over there. That's the only reason that they're having that solar up there, is because they dragged their feet on Sanborn Road, and that project's gonna go through because they already went and bypassed the town.
Did you talk to that Wendy DeWolf?
And I talked to who?
Wendy DeWolf?
I don't know who she is.
She's one of the principal partners in ELP Solar that we told you about a couple of meetings ago.
Oh, yes, yeah, I don't remember her name, you know, they come and go over there, these solar companies. And that's what I said over there, there's 2 people over there, and they said, we sold our company to this other one. How many people were employed by it? 2. Him and her, whoever their names were, that was it. They didn't have no company. These people come up with these things over here, oh, we got a solar company now, and we're gonna sell it to a town. We're gonna sell it to this big developer or something, these big solar companies, that's how they do it. Oh, we sold the company. How many employees did you have? 2. Him and her. That's how they do it. And then they get these big solar companies to come in and do it. And then they go to work for them, as they have. So, like I said, I'm opposed to changing I thought it was a good law to begin with. It restricted it at 100 acres. How many people can do this at 100 acres? And the biggest project is going in 3,000 acres over there, right outside your hometown over here, where you live. Montgomery County, 3,000 acres, 250 megawatts going in there. You think they're gonna stop it? All of them signs are up over there. No solar, no solar. What's that gonna do? Do you ever run up Route 30 and see all them signs? I have.
Yeah,
It's not gonna stop it.
Okay, anyway,
You know where Sarah Road is?
yes.
Okay. There's 4 farms. They're gonna put 3,000 acres there. A friend of mine owns 600 acres. She's gonna give them 400 acres. They're gonna get $1,500 a month, okay, for her 400 acres. It's a dairy farm there right now. 3 other farms past them went in on it. That's 3,000 acres they're gonna do, okay, for solar. All right,
The High Rivers project?
she's getting $1,500 an acre 7 years from now. She showed me the thing, and I says, you better talk to somebody, because this is screwed up. She's gonna get $1,500 an acre for 400 acres. You multiply that out by 12 months out of the year, that's $7.1 million. She says, we're milking 180 cows, we can't make that much money. She's gonna get $7.1 million, but it's gonna take them 7 years. She signed the contract, and they're gonna pay the land and school taxes until they open the thing up. She's not gonna get a dime until 7 years down the road, okay?
but they're gonna pay the taxes.
But they're gonna pay the taxes. They're selling all the cows in September,
Yeah.
okay? And there's 3 other farms. The next farm is gonna have the battery pack thing, and 2 other farms. And they're all getting the same thing, but it's gonna take 7 years before they start getting a check for
Right.
the rent. They're gonna pay the taxes, but by the time they get it all done, building the roads, they said they gotta drill wells, they gotta do this and that. It's in Montgomery County, and 7 years from now, she might be dead, but her kids are gonna get it.
Do you know there's a
And
farmer?
you realize for 40 years, that's the lease, 40 years, 7.1 million times 40.
Do you know there's a farm in Montgomery County on Route 30, I believe it was, that they came in and they started putting solar panels in and everything, and the company went bankrupt, and now the farm is $1.2 million or $1.5 million in debt because of liens that were put on them. And now they're in worse shape than they were before.
Yeah.
And that's happening more and more. Every day you see there's more.
Coal is the
We can't prevent that.
engineer.
Right, no, I'm just saying,
That's their problem. It
It's-
screws up. But the other side of the coin is how you tell these people, oh, you can't do this.
All right,
anyway.
are you in favor of keeping it at 100 acres?
Yes, yeah.
I am, but I think we should definitely address the battery issue.
Battery
because
thing, yes.
That presents
Definitely.
Eliminate the
toxicity
battery.
and hazards and what have you.
We can
should
beat this.
include that in it.
We don't want the battery thing.
Yeah, that's a problem.
If they want to burn the high tension lines.
But the 100 acres, I think, we need to maintain that. And I don't even want to make it more restrictive because we're inviting litigation, and I don't want to do that.
We could outlaw it, okay, but then they're gonna do whatever they want.
You're
At least we
inviting
got
litigation,
something.
which we can't afford. This town, Princetown, does not have the money to hire lawyers to fight these
No,
big
I know.
solar companies. So
The
that's, and I
whole
would-
budget is $400,000.
I wouldn't vote a dime to fight it.
No.
We don't have a town tax. And I'm sure if you told people over there you want to fight this or have a town tax, you know what they tell you?
Don't bother. They don't want a tax.
Even
Or
the town
taxes.
tax would not be enough.
No, I know.
All right,
So
anything
we just
else?
violated all this that you read here, by the way. But that's okay.
What's that? I didn't know what you
The
said.
privileges of the floor, we just violated every inch of it.
I know, we don't have a big crowd here though. Go ahead.
You're right. Jennifer Blessing, Gifford Church Road, member of the Planning Board Committee. You very conveniently have skipped 2 resolution items until after public hearing, so I'm going to speak right now. I am concerned that we had an arrangement that the committee was in favor of that was passed up, and there appears to have been a backroom dealing to put a new chair in place. Nothing has been discussed with the planning board members, so this all came as a surprise that this has gone to this extent. I just want it to be known that I don't approve of the way that this has been handled. And it appears to be politically motivated. And honestly, I've been meaning to stand up and speak previously that until the politics bickering can stop in this town is going to die and have to be merged with another town, because you're not getting the next generation in here, because they don't want to hear this. They don't want to hear you sniping at each other. We need to start, we're working for the same end goal of this town, and we should be able to do that in a civil manner. And even if we don't agree with each other, we shouldn't be rude to one another as a part of it just because of politics. So that's my statement. Thank you.
You have anything you want to comment on? Bring it up now.
No, thank you, Jen. What do you want me to bring up? What we want to do?
Yeah.
Basically, I didn't know about that resolution, but it's a moot issue, because my theory on it is that the planning board needs to be eliminated with this town board we have here right now. And when we're all gone and out of here, if the planning board, whoever the board comes in wants to reinstitute it, they should reinstitute it. But we don't need the planning board. And I said that 15 years ago, but I wasn't in here long enough to make it happen.
Doug?
I agree with what he said. We're paying Doug Cole as an engineer. It's gotta go through the county and the whole 9 yards, and they got 7 people on the board, well, 6 now. And they all bicker back and forth. What do we need?
We got 5 of us here, we can fight with each other, and that's fine.
Jim?
Yeah, my understanding is that Doug Cole has been talked to, and he said he actually could run the whole thing.
The paperwork.
Yeah, do everything.
Also,
This board's gotta make the decision on what happens.
I did, since I was asked this question, I did do the research on this, and I had Crystal pull up the resolution. The planning board was created by a resolution, and it can be dissolved by a resolution. The planning board, the only duties they have are the statutory duties that were granted to them when the planning board was formed. There was no statutory duties granted to the planning board when it was formed. The planning board, on their own, came up with their own ideas of what they were gonna do. So, the planning board can be eliminated just by a resolution. It's not a local law. The town of Altamont already dissolved their planning board. So, and discussions with our attorney over here, there's some, if we did do that, there's local law, there's laws that were in or referred to the planning board. We could just opt out of them by one resolution, that it would all go to the town board. And,
Which we could be lead agency on anyway.
yes, we could be, and I
We can
found
override
that,
the planning board.
we could be the lead agency, the town board can declare themselves the lead agency on any project that comes into effect.
You know, we don't have that many projects. It's Princeton.
The last one was the last big one was the Crossroads project. I didn't know we could have declared ourselves a lead agency in that. I was told that after the fact.
And we gotta fix the consequences of that anyway.
You should know, you're the supervisor. You should know what the local law is,
It wasn't a
to
local law.
declare lead agency.
It's not a local law. I looked into it after.
Okay?
It's not a local
You
law.
can't pass off that you didn't know. You should know. You're the supervisor.
There's a
Okay.
lot of things.
You should know.
Too.
Just tell me, the buck stops at your desk. I think it's a.
I'm not gonna argue with you, Doug, that's all you
Argue?
want. I'm not gonna
Privilege
argue.
is the floor.
I'm not gonna argue with
I
you.
can
It
speak.
was brought up, we're gonna put it on as a resolution at the next town board meeting.
Okay.
Whether it gets passed or not,
Uh-huh.
they asked to put it up, they asked me to look into it, I did, and there's what I came up with. I talked with the associations of towns with it,
Uh-huh.
it's not a local law to have the planning board. It was done by resolution, and it could be rescinded by resolution.
So, Jen, that solved that problem.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say, it's not worth doing a vote on a resolution to name a new chair if you're gonna get rid of the committee then.
Correct.
I am concerned about the statement Doug made though, because in the time frame I have been on there as an alternate, which is, what, 2 years at least at this point, there's only been one time where there has been true all-out bickering. The rest of the time, there is constructive discussion. And so the idea that all we do is sit and bitch at each other, excuse my language, I think has been overblown.
Okay, my sister was on that planning board, right?
That was
What
before.
happened, what happened to her?
I have no idea
A certain person,
who's not on there anymore from what I understood.
said, I want this guy in, and it's right on this paper here, right now, what you want to vote for. And I'm voting no. They threw my sister off because they wanted Middleton,
But
okay?
we've had changes since then.
He's changed.
No. In terms of who made that statement, I believe, is not on the committee anymore.
You're right.
Okay. And
You were
it's, to
totally
me,
right.
I never heard anything about that until after it happened.
Okay, at this point, it's a moot issue,
Yeah.
okay?
Privilege is floor still open. Doug Thorpe, I'm on the planning board since 1998 with one little period of time that I wasn't in 12 to 14 or 16. You eliminate the planning board in this town, it's gonna cost this town 3 times the amount of money to employ an outside engineering company to review and monitor the projects in this town. Everything is gonna be paid for by the taxpayers in this town. Right now,
We don't have.
it's excuse me, Lou, it's my time. Okay? The whole town is going to outside agencies. Your assessor's outside, your building inspector's outside, your town designated engineer. We have a plan. You're already paying these people. Okay? So I don't know where you're gonna gain by eliminating the planning board.
Because we're already paying these people. You said you answered your own question. The engineer's already.
They had to go through the engineers to approve this.
Listen, for the last year, this town has been paying a town designated engineer to run the planning board. And they don't need to be paying Doug Cole to run the planning board. He's writing the agenda. It's an outside agency. We have a chairperson. Maybe not right now, we don't. We will tonight after you resolve a chairman. We have an acting chairperson. So, I want the taxpayers to be specifically clear that it's going to cost this town a lot of money if you eliminate the planning board and choose to do all of the town's business with an outside agency. Okay? Because all SECRA reviews, everything is going to be billed just like an outside, our town designated attorney. Everything is going to be charged back to the town. Okay? So, you townspeople better call into town, and if you're concerned about the planning board in this town, call Mr. Esposito or any one of these planning town board members and oppose eliminating the planning board. I've done a lot of reviewing, and I've done a lot of volunteering in this town since I moved here almost 30 years ago. And there's no reason that a few people in this town is changing the dynamic of how we have done things for the people in this town. Whether you like it or not, you like it or not, you and you like it or not. Okay? It's ran smooth for as long as I've been on there. Okay? And certain things, and something comes in, you don't like it or you don't like it, all of a sudden you want to throw it up and we'll have somebody outside agency do it. Okay? I'm sure when the bills come in, we find out how much it costs to pay an outside town designated engineer to do business in this town. You'll see how much it's going to cost the town and the taxpayers. So, you know, that's what.
Sometimes change is good.
Listen, state law requires you to have some form of planning.
That's right.
Okay? And who, you know, and state law also requires you to review the secret laws. Okay? You as a town board are going to be reviewing the secret laws? Are you going to have one town designated outside agency who is subject doing the review work on behalf of the residents in the town of Princetown? I think you're misguided. And I think you should, you know, you want to change the rule and how the town does work, the business in this town? Put it to the people. Have a permissive referendum. You want to eliminate something that's been on this and has guided the growth in this town? Just because you're upset at either an individual member on the planning board and you just want to, like a kindergarten, eliminate it? You're all misguided. Okay? So if you want to eliminate the planning board in this town, let the people vote on whether they want it or they don't want it. If the townspeople don't want it, I'm all for it. If the townspeople want it, I don't think 2 or 3 members of this town board should make a dynamic change to the way we've worked this town and really have helped the townspeople put their projects in. I'm not talking big industry, the little people that come into this town for guidance, whether it's a building or a lot line adjustment. You guys, town board's going to have your hands full. And the only thing you're going to end up doing is it's going to cost this town and the taxpayers a lot of money. So, I would think you would have at least a public hearing and just eliminating something at the whim of, like you're stomping your feet. You know? That's
Sometimes change is good. And if this
and sometimes it's bad.
Well,
And this is really, because you didn't do no outside research on it. You show the research. It's your ideology that you're talking. You show the research. You going to save the town money? Do you have the documents? Do you have the facts that you eliminating the planning board is going to save the taxpayers money?
It's not going to cost them any more money.
How do you know that, Nick? Did you do research on it? Or are you just shooting from the hip, eliminating something that's been in town and has worked? Okay? You want to make a fundamental dynamic change to the way the process to the people in this town work? Then you better have some facts to back it up, and not just say it's not there's infighting and there are people and they don't get along. That's not the way the town should be run. Okay, so I implore everybody who sees it, call the town and at least have a public hearing. And if you want to eliminate the planning board, do it through progressive referendum.
We don't have to do that.
You can do whatever you want.
We don't have to, that's right, and that's what we're going to do.
Okay.
Okay? And basically, I wanted this 15 years ago, because that's what should have happened then. And
Yep.
we've been going through all this turmoil for 15 years. Okay? And this is what we're going to try, and this is work. It's going to work. And outside people that come in this town and want to do stuff are going to be happy. Because they have not been happy with the way this has been going. Okay? Planning board has been restricted to any kind of development, good or bad. Too many chiefs. We just need somebody to shuffle paperwork. We can make the decision right here on what needs to be done with this town, which we have to do anyway because we're the town board.
You're not doing too good of a job on the solar. I can name 5 things up there that you know, what happened to the solar moratorium? You got the solar moratorium, put the moratorium on. You guys don't know, it's out of your league. You have a major home occupancy,
All right, listen to me.
a home occupancy moratorium that you put on. Where did the home occupancy, excuse me, still privileges in the floor though, I can still talk.
Yeah, but you're over.
You have a-
You're overdoing
No,
it.
you-
Come on, man, I said that.
Privileges and floor are over.
No, it's not.
Privileges
It's
on
not
the floor are
over.
over.
You have,
Yes, they are.
listen, you
Privileges
have,
of
you
floor
have
are over.
a home occupancy moratorium that you guys you haven't even done anything with. You haven't done anything with a solar moratorium, you haven't done anything with a home occupancy moratorium. So you guys don't know what you're doing.
That's your opinion. No, well, let
You're
it
one man.
That's
One
your
man.
opinion.
I'm one man.
Why
your
did you
opinion.
go over here?
Privileges on the floor are
I'm
over.
one man.
Yeah,
Why did you buck that across the street?
Doug,
When
One
you
man.
said it
Doug,
was-
just let it go.
This is why you guys need to not break the rules.
That's
Privilege
right.
of the floor.
Privileges of the floor are
In
over.
the
Oh, which
future-
one, Doug?
I know, but in the future, we gotta stick to these rules, otherwise, this
I know.
debate's.
No, they don't have to stick to the rules, because you talked enough. We got the point of what you're.
Understand?
Talking more is just wasting time at this point. We got your opinion, we know.
Okay.
Okay. Privileges of the floor are over at 8:10. Time to move on. Okay, executive session. Is there a motion to go into executive session? Be it resolved, the town board enters executive session.
We gotta go into executive session?
Yes, for the, to discuss a legal matter.
All right.
Do we need to table those resolutions, though? We just
What?
skipped over them? The chair, I just want to make sure for notes, can we just
We
read
should
them?
do something.
Okay.
Table them,
Do you want to
Maybe you
table
want to
them?
table that, the chairperson?
or, well, if there's no.
Table. Can we just eliminate it? Can we vote to just knock them off the agenda?
You just don't make a motion.
Or you could vote to remove them from the agenda, or you could.
Let's vote to
table.
remove them from the agenda, because we don't need that. I don't know why that was on there.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to remove both of those resolutions off the agenda.
Okay. Is there a second? Crystal?
Councilman Chaconi?
Yeah.
Councilman Gray?
Yes.
Councilman Mora?
Yes.
Supervisor Esposito?
Yes, resolution passes. Okay, it's hereby resolved the town board enters into executive session to discuss a legal matter pending. Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Crystal?
Councilman Chaconi?
Yes.
Councilman Gray?
Yes.
Councilman Mora?
Yes.
Supervisor Esposito?
Yes, thank you all for coming.